This will involve a manager, and this will involve several employees. I'm going to show you the scene, which is entitled, by the way, Because We're Busy. Then I'd like you to take just a minute discussing the behaviors as specifically as you can, and then we'll talk about the positives and the negatives that you've observed arising out of those behaviors. So let's take a look at the video right now.
Hey everyone.
Hey.
How we doing?
Good.
Good, excellent.
Well, I'm glad to see you could all make it here on time.
Of course.
I guess we'll wait for our straggler.
Well, we all know how they are. Mm-hmm. Time really has no meaning for them, does it? I mean, who knows when he's going to come strolling on in here. He's probably taking a siesta.
Or helping a relative sneak in to the land of the free.
Yeah.
Oh, I am so sorry I'm late. There was an emergency. My daughter's school called, but everything is okay now.
Maybe you should review our attendance policy, Javier. We start on time here. Okay, this meeting will be brief. Our travel budget's been approved for the year. Cameron, you'll be going conference this year.
Okay.
Wait, there's more. It's going to be held in Miami.
Nice. All right. Hey, so is Abby going? I wouldn't mind checking her out in a bikini if I could.
Are you kidding? You couldn't handle it.
Ooh.
And a word to the wise, Cameron. You better hit the gym before you go. Those abs of yours need a lot of work.
Watch it. I'm working on it.
Okay, you two, let's get back to business. Abby, we've signed off on reimbursement for the class you're taking. Sounds like it'll be a lot for the class you took last year. Any questions?
Oh, excuse me, was my request to go to the seminar in San Diego approved?
No, I'm sorry, it wasn't. It just wasn't in the budget. Besides, you went to that thing last year.
That was 2 years ago, and I haven't gone anywhere since.
Well, go ahead and submit your proposal for next year. Maybe you'll get lucky.
Lucky?
It's just that we need you here busy. So, let's adjourn this meeting and get back to work.
Let me ask you, and we've got help from our colleagues with the microphones. What behaviors did you notice? And we're keeping a running log of this, which we'll get back to you. What are the behaviors you noticed in the video? And what are the positive or negative impacts that you saw from these behaviors? And we have one person here, number one.
Well, there was a reference to taking siesta time, and the negative about that is that it's a culturally offensive. It could be taken culturally offensively the way they made the comment.
All right, let me ask you this. If it's taken culturally offensively, are there any other what are there other outcomes from that?
A potential outcome could be the person can feel that they're being treated unfairly, or that there could be potential discrimination in the team.
All right. Now, when you say potential discrimination, you're forcing me to use a term that I would not have otherwise used, despite my background, which would be legal risk. A lawyer can't resist that. It's just one of many. But legal risk, a person feeling like they're not part of the team and excluded, is that a fair?
Sure.
All right. What other behaviors did you notice? Right next to you, and I'm just doing this for ease of the microphone persons.
Well,
number one.
The comment about Javier sneaking his family into the land of the free.
All right.
So that reinforces prejudice that if you are Hispanic, then you most likely are illegal immigrant.
All right. In terms of the impact on the team, what is the impact, positive or negative, on that comment?
Negative. It reinforces a prejudice, and it appears that comment is actually acceptable, because if you keep quiet and you do not respond, that means that you are agreeing to that comment.
So if there's silence, it makes it sound as if it's agreeable. It's making the person, per your comment, feel excluded. And now we'll move to number two.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether like he and I talk about the same thing. Like the guy who was late for a meeting mentioned, his daughter had an emergency at school, but nobody asked him about like how is your daughter now? Like it seems that nobody cares about him.
Well, how would you have expressed caring? Because no one cares.
Yeah.
No one asks questions.
Yeah, I think like in such occasions, as a human being, you would expect somebody to ask you, "Oh, how is she now? Is she okay?" Something like that.
All right.
Yeah.
And what's the impact on that again? Just
The impact is like it seems that he is really excluded from this team. He is not one of them.
okay. And let's go to number 1 in the front. I think we have another comment.
Generally, it seems like all of their comments are without any sort of social or emotional intelligence. I know that you're asking about specific examples, but there were so many that, between the abs and the bikini and the siesta and, everything, there was just so many, offenses. The only way that I could really approach it is that it just seems like the people in the room weren't very wise around how other people might experience what they're saying or doing, so they didn't have the appropriate empathy or frame of reference.
You had basically a barrage of sexual, ethnic, national origin, insensitive comments occurring. If I organize what you've all said, I'm hearing that, again, it doesn't build a teamwork, it doesn't bring people together. Now, let me ask you this. What's the impact on the team with those types of behaviors? Any comments on that? We've heard about feeling left out, not feeling part of the group, not an open environment. I think those are things that you all identified. Is that correct? All right. What else and how else is this going to affect the team? Anybody? Yes. Number 2, I believe.
Well, the others on the team, the ones that were making all the comments, begin to feel like it's culturally acceptable. So then, let's say they go into another department or another group, they start talking like that, and so it spreads amongst the company because they believe it's culturally acceptable to talk like that.
So if I may say, you have a leader who says things and doesn't object, and that then percolates to the others, and it looks like this is the way we do things in the workplace. Is that right?
Yes.
What's any other impacts that we have met? Let me ask you another question, and I'm going to move this just because of the time. If these comments were directed to you as part of the way you spent your work life, how many here would A, want to remain employed in that unit or at the company? Raise your hand. How many would be saying, I want to look for other work? If these were directed to you, comments like this, and we can change a few words here or there, how many of you would feel that you'd like to talk about what a wonderful organization the company you work for truly is? How many of you would feel the opposite? How many of you would tell your friends to come to work at Coca-Cola because of the great environment epitomizing fairness, inclusiveness, and diversity? All right. And basically, how many of you, if you worked in an environment like this, would feel comfortable about speaking up about problems in your team? How many of you subjected to this type of behavior would say, I see a problem, I want my team to know it so we can fully discuss it with this type of environment? All right, let me make an observation here. Basically, you're talking about behaviors that have an impact on daily interactions. And before I go further, the question I have for you is, these are a number of different behaviors all tied together in a brief scenario so that we can move through it rapidly. But how many would say that they think that conversations like this occur within the Coca-Cola Company around the globe at some point in time? Some of you are raising your hands. The point I would like to make is simply this. You said to me in the very front page of the portion of the discussion that there were behaviors that drive business results in your unit: reputation, retention, openness, and trust.